You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show is live on Thursday, April 30th. Guys. Hey, guys. It's the last day of April. I said the last day of April. We are almost, do you understand? We're almost halfway through the year now. This is incredible on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. I love their tagline, clear, risk-free advice, and it won't cost you a dime, because you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. I mean, it is exactly what you need. When you've been in an accident, you know it's a tough situation. It's one of the worst days of your life. That's why clear, risk-free advice, it's exactly what you need. They're going to set you straight, and they're going to tell you, hey, A, B, and C, here's how we're going to handle it, because the advocates have been there. They fought that fight, and they've won that fight. Get an injury attorney online right now, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Good morning. I am amazed at this Big 12 private capital deal, mainly because we told you it was going to happen. You guys all told me I was a jackwagon and I don't know ball, Monty, and remember all that, where I said, hey, in one form or another. And the reason that I'm so incredible and brilliance when it comes to these kind of situations is not too strong of a word, right? I mean, you know, me as a king with, you know, the world, I'm awesome is what I'm telling you.
We were saying that.
Yeah. You know, you knew this was inevitable for the Big 12, and everybody who piled on, who told me, oh, they're going to sell out. And this is the exact right deal for the Big 12. And I hope people get on board with this. This is the exact right structure, the exact right type of deal, the exact right way to execute a private equity deal is this one right here. And I think the single biggest indicator of that is it's not mandatory participation. And it does not automatically cut multi-million-dollar checks to the stupid people that run the universities in the Big 12 conference, who know absolutely nothing about athletics. It doesn't hand the folks in Stillwater. It doesn't hand the folks in Fort Worth. It doesn't hand the folks in Waco or in Ames. All of these universities that do not want to spend money and do not want to win, it does not hand those people tens of millions of dollars to burn, because that's what they will do with it. If you hand Oklahoma State a $30 million check, just light it on fire, because they will have no idea how to leverage it and how to use it. I think this is absolutely a stroke of genius, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, participation being optional is obviously a good thing. You know, you never want to do deals, you know, that force participation at the conference level. I think that's just asking for trouble. I think that the line of credit portion, I think, is an interesting dynamic, especially when you consider that, you know, that would inherently mean that, all right, you're using a line of credit, which would bring things like interest into play and stuff like that if you're using it.
Shares of profit going away.
Shares of profit, yeah.
Let's be real honest. Private capital guys don't give their money for free. They're not doing favors. When you opt in, because the structure of this deal essentially says, hey, we're going to give the Big 12, essentially at the conference level, RedBird Capital bought into the Big 12. as a stakeholder. The Big 12 is getting a cash infusion, which is solely to expand their commercial operation. Their sales guys are going to get more money. They're going to hire more sales guys. They're going to make bigger deals. They're going to be able to do things like LED floors at a higher level. Those revenue streams we've always talked about, because I don't think anybody here argues what Brett Yormark and his leadership team at the Big 12 have done. They've broken a lot of ground in a lot of areas, and this is not the first time they've done it with this private equity deal, because this is groundbreaking. This is the first time we've seen a conference deal with a private equity firm, and really it's two private equity firms, where you have kind of a pay-for-play situation. If you want to get in, you can get in. If you don't want to get in at all, you don't have to get in at all. And I think it's exactly what the Big 12 needed, because I would also tell you with these lines of credit, and if you own a business, you have lines of credit. I have multiple lines of credit. It's, for instance, hey, we're the cowards in Waco who don't want to win anything, but we fired a coach and we don't have the money to do a national search. Well, now you can opt into this line of credit to fund your head coaching search and the buyout for the coach that's on the way out the door. Except Baylor never fires their shitty football coach. He just gets to come back and steal money from them. But in my scenario, Baylor would actually, try to win football games. And so you would access that line of credit to help you fund that new coach process. It's stuff like that. The other interesting part of this is that when the Big 12's next media rights deal comes up, RedBird and RedBird Capital, the two private equity firms involved in this, will have a significant influence over that next media rights deal. In what form or fashion? What does that look like? That's going to be very interesting to see. But in the immediate term, I think it gives the Big 12 and its athletic departments the opportunity to compete with the Big 10 and the SEC, should they choose to do so. And that's the big caveat. But if you need new stadium facilities, if you need a new piece of equipment and you want to finance that through private capital, you can do that now. All of that stuff, you need LED boards in your stadium, you can finance that through private capital. And it's sanctioned at the conference level. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Where, hey, we want to upgrade our travel. Whatever it is you need, we need new iPads, right? Whatever it is you need, you can now access that capital through this deal, and I think it's game-changing for the Big 12.
Is it cynical of me that the first thing I think about when you talk about, hey, you need money to do something for your football department, use this line of credit, use this money, the first thing I think about is background checks for players? Is that cynical for me?
That's certainly part of it. I don't know if it's cynical or not. But Texas Tech's a good example. You look at Texas Tech, don't they already have a private equity deal?
Apparently.
I mean, they've sold their soul to
Apparently.
Cody Campbell. Anyway you slice it, Tech has sold its soul to Cody Campbell, right? I mean, is that not?
Yeah, he's the guy driving the thing. I mean, if that's not what it is, that's certainly what it looks like. I mean, I don't know how it would be anything else.
Yeah, I don't see how it would be anything else. I just don't see how that shapes or how it would be anything else. But this is the competitive advantage that the Big 12 has been lacking.
Yeah.
Now
they just need to be careful with it too, though, right? I mean, there's this responsibility.
But now you have to go and leverage it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go and leverage it. And the question is, and maybe this is your point, what happens when you mismanage it? Because, look, it's the Big 12. They're going to mismanage it. Baylor's going to mismanage. Baylor is so poorly run. Baylor's poorly run. I look at Kansas on some levels, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're doing in football. No idea. I look at what you're doing in Ames, Iowa, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Fort Worth, Tucson. Tucson has not been great managing their money. But doesn't this give you the lifeline that $240 million Abacus mistake you made several years ago? Doesn't this fix that problem? I mean, it would appear so.
On some level, yeah. On some level, yeah. But I think that it's just the ratios have to be correct, man. So if you get you get a $30 million line of credit to fund whatever your next endeavor is in athletics. The line of credit, I saw a lot of people, and maybe this isn't common knowledge. I don't know. I think most people understand this, but I didn't feel like I saw a lot of understanding of this on Twitter yesterday when this came out, that people were using the word loan yesterday to describe a line of credit, and that's not what a line of credit is. That's
No.
absolutely not what a line of credit is. A line
Nope.
of credit is not a loan, because a loan is, hey, I'm going to give you $1 and then you're going to pay that dollar back to me over a certain portion of time with fixed payments that have interest built into those payments. The line of credit portion, and this is what concerns me about it. I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I agree. Used properly, it gives you a competitive advantage and allows you to compete pretty much at the highest levels in college athletics. Like I agree with that. But the line of credit portion is like, hey, we're Baylor. We're going to go use a chunk of this, 20 of the 30 million, just as an arbitrary example. And we don't really have a clear path to paying that off before the interest snowball starts to build. And that's what, I just get a little bit concerned about that, because again, if you haven't shown the ability to manage your money in a way that's allowing you to compete now, I don't think that that means we can trust you to manage this correctly. And that's the concern. I mean, we've never had in college football this situation before where you can have this type of financial arrangement. And so that inherently means we've never seen a school get in trouble with a financial arrangement like this. We don't know what that looks like. So I just think you got to be diligent, man. You got to be careful with this. Use it, but use it with caution.
I'm very curious how many schools opt into this capital infusion. I mean, it's a 10% interest rate, so it's not predatory. It's probably more affordable money than you can get in a lot of places. And I'm just curious to see how that pays off. I believe they have a year to opt into it. And it does not sound like, just talking to some people around the universe here, it does not sound like very many will opt in, which I'm actually glad to hear. I'm actually glad to hear it, because I just think, and I'm trying not to be harsh, how many universities in this league have made good business decisions recently? Well, Texas Tech and BYU, but you know what the funny thing about those two universities are? They don't need the money. They don't need the money. Well, who's made bad decisions? Well, let's see. Utah could use the money. Oak State could use the money. Baylor, it's all the usual suspects.
Iowa State.
All of the universities that make bad decisions need the money. The few universities that make good decisions in this league don't need the money. You think UCF could use this money? Yeah, I think they could. But will they? We'll see. I don't know. My biggest concern is that you do not have quality operators. You do not have quality operators. And if you're a savvy business person, you would use this money. If you were savvy, you understand that 10% is not exorbitant. 10% is a very nice number.
Now, typical line of credit interest is going to be somewhere in the mid to high 20s. That's kind of your average range for like just a standard. If you were just talking about like a standard credit card, you would be somewhere in the mid to high 20s. That's typically what you see.
Well, and you wouldn't use this like a credit card. Again, I want to make that very clear. You're not going to be 20s, but you're not going to be 26, 30%. But like, I have a pretty significant line of credit at Amex that I don't use. That's at 10.5%. I mean, 10% on 30 million, is pretty good money. Pretty good money. I mean, it depends. A lot of it depends on, hey, what's your credit score, blah, blah, blah. If you can get a standard boilerplate 10%, $30 million line of credit, you'd be almost crazy not to use it. Because you can leverage that. You can leverage that. And when you think about a line of credit, and we'll see how this one is specifically structured. Your average line of credit is, hey, you've got $250,000 here to run your business. Okay, your copier broken. You need to spend $2,000 on a new copy machine or printer or whatever. Okay, great. Access the $2,000, pay it back, and now you've got $250,000 again. It's not a $2,000 loan where you're like, okay, hey, copier broke. Can I get $2,000? All right, let me run your credit and see if we can approve you. It's not like that. It's available to you for when you need it and for what you need it. No questions asked. 30 million, 10%, it's available to you. Let's see how this is structured and how people use it. I'm very curious to see how people will use it. If you are smart, you will use this money to make you more money. You will use this money to expand your global revenue generation at the university level. So you'll take that $30 million and, hey, maybe you hire, sales teams for football and basketball or women's sports, whatever it is. Take that $30 million and you leverage it to make you more money. It's as simple as that. And I say, if you're a Big 12 university, that's what you should be doing with this money. Make this money, make you more money. Please do not use this money to buy new massage tables. Please do not use, but you know what I mean? Like, don't use this line of credit to buy tape.
Yeah,
stuff. We need some more KT tape for the badminton team. If you're going to use this money for badminton tape, don't use this money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that there has to be, you got to make good decisions with it, and I think it's just like anything else, man. The top end schools aren't going to need the money. Other schools may want it. But it's going to be it's going to be a school in the middle who's not winning right now, but has historically won, that's trying to get back, that will use this in a savvy way to help themselves. And the Big Ten had an opportunity to work a deal like this, a couple of months ago. You guys remember talking about that, and that didn't quite pan, I think, the way a lot of people wanted it to. And so we'll see who embraces this and who doesn't, and what the Big 12 really does with this, because the conference is also getting a $12.5 million infusion, which is a nice number. That's definitely not, that's a good amount of money. So, we'll see what they do with that. But the Big 12 just needs to, again, all this stuff comes back to, what do you do on the football field, man? Can you win more? Can you improve? Can you up your chances? Because ultimately, I love the innovation. I love Brett Yormark, but that is all that matters. I agree. Like, that's cool. You guys are innovating, right? That's great. But if it doesn't make a difference, I mean, what are we really talking about?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Gabriel, new channel logo. Interesting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. New banner icon as well. Nice. I rock with this. Good stuff, Jake.
Wasn't me, dude. Wasn't me, bro. I appreciate the cred, but it wasn't me. It was the comment section yesterday with AI, and then Monty took the AI logo that was submitted to us and put it in ChatGPT, and we refined it, and now it's there.
Gemini's better. Jake's all in on it. Or are you Claude now? I can't remember.
Depends what you're doing. I mean, I like Claude a lot.
Okay. Hit the like button. A hobo hits us like a hobo hits a sandwich.
Not sure I get that one, Mike.
I would agree. Good morning, Monty and Jake. Jakey Two Shakes like button, everybody. Yes, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Jake's going old school James with the Syracuse and Oak State colors. Monty with the damn dirty Notre Dame shirt. Is what it is, right? Is what it is. I've come to a determination that rollback is way overrated.
Oh.
Not worth the money. Not worth the money. I was looking at, because I'm in the market as I continue to defat my frame. I'm in the market for quarter zips constantly because I wear them every day. I'm not paying $140 for a quarter zip. Lick. I'm not doing that. There's just no chance I'm doing that. I am glad teams don't have to be involved because BYU will not get in. BYU has no need for private equity.
BYU, okay, dude. BYU has so much money that they don't. That does $30 million doesn't even get their attention, brother. They've got so much money coming from that little institution that God
Ensign
founded.
Peak.
Yeah, that they don't need, like, it's not even a thing to them. This is nothing to them.
No. The single greatest real estate entity in the entire country, BYU and the Mormon
seriously.
Church.
Yeah.
Come on now. Yeah, I like that a team can opt out and opt into an amount they want, not a mandatory sum for all. Totally agree. BYU is a school that goes by the you eat what you kill model, and they don't operate in the red. I would agree with that. Listen, the biggest issue in this conference is you don't have quality operators. You don't. And then you get Texas Tech and you get BYU. And they win games. And they're at the top of the conference. Funny thing is, they also make a lot of money. They both have elite stadiums. Texas Tech is coming, but BYU's got elite facilities. I mean, it's why you're able to compete with other major universities to keep Kalani Sitake. It's why you're able to go and get the best high school basketball talent at a premium price. Because you have money to leverage to make you more money. But when you're a crappy operator, again, Baylor, you fire your athletic director who put his hands on an athlete, and then you don't fire the football coach because you don't want to pay to run a national search. So you hire Scott Frost, and your team in Orlando still sucks. That's who's running this league. That's who's running these universities. They're not making pragmatic decisions. Why would you hand them $30 million? Throw it in the fire. It'll get better use as kindling than if you hand it to Baylor. It will be better purposed as kindling than if you hand it to Baylor.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Can't do it. Cannot do it. Muldoon, good morning. Most look leaner in black. You look really lean in Notre Dame navy blue. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. 6 pounds from our goal weight. Kenneth Maynard, they sure love to gamble in the Big 12. The PC deal will either be a huge win or a disaster. It has no way to be a disaster. What is a disaster? I don't think I don't think there's any eventuality where this is just an incredible disaster. And if somebody wants to tell me what that looks like, I'm here for it.
Well, it would be spending the money and then being irresponsible with paying it back. That would be the inference.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying it back. I don't think there's, in these situations, there's not a route where you can take the money and not pay it back. That doesn't exist in these areas, in my opinion. Good morning, Lopes fan. Gabe, good to see you. Ryan Duffy. We might use it at Tech to fund background checks on players. I've heard that. They could opt in for some money to get a Fire Dave Aranda billboard. Help to get Neil Brown out. There you go. There you go. Okie Light got in line yesterday. Okay, Sergeant Green, hello. Achu Wanin. Okay. I'm curious which schools will be buying in. Interest on any money borrowed sounds like it's close to 10%. Pretty high interest for such a large loan. It's not, though.
It's not, dude. I'm telling you guys, dude, you got to get over the 10% thing. The 10% thing at $30 million is not that high of a number. It's a pretty reasonable rate when you look at this deal. I mean, what did you want it to be, like 5%? Like I don't know what you guys thought that this would be.
The risk, you're paying for risk. You are paying for risk. When you take a $30 million line of credit, there's significant risk to the lender. RedBird Capital. 10% is a mitigation number. Was it around 12 million that they were investing in the Big 12 front office, not the individual teams? Correct.
Yeah, 12.5.
Yeah, they are not investing in the individual universities. They made a capital infusion into the league at the league level for revenue generating infrastructure. Makes sense. Line of credit / loan interest is still pretty high. Yeah, I would encourage you to rethink that. But, Ryan Duffy, Tech might need it for basketball. Yeah, no, how about baseball? I don't know if we still have that video. Did you guys see, and I guess we do not, but the baseball coach at Texas Tech sat up there and was like, yeah, we're broke. We're broke. We're done. We're broke. We can't compete. I felt like he was on the verge of tears. How at Texas Tech is the men's baseball program broke?
Softball's not broke. Baseball's struggling. I mean, that's why I say, the Cody Campbell dynamic is a really interesting one, because I feel like there's this whole deal where everyone just thinks that if you have money, that means that, you're going to be, you're going to be in a great place across the board. And I just don't agree with that. I mean,
I don't agree either.
The Texas Tech baseball coach sitting here, talking about how they're broke is really not a good look for Cody Campbell.
I mean, your resources, if you really want to look at an SEC roster, I mean, you can do the research on what they're putting in it. And we haven't had that, but I'll tell you this, since NIL has started, I'm guilty as anybody that thinks we could do it the way we I mean, I can go back to the night before NIL started. Micah Dallas called me and said, hey, I'm going somewhere. It would have taken $50,000 to keep him.
Jesus. He's emotional there. Yeah, the $50,000 to keep him. How is Tech baseball broke? It's a very interesting question. It's a very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ball breaking when you know that you're not going to be able to compete because you don't have enough money.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Roche, mutual funds pay out 13% and friends only funds pay 30% if you know a fund manager. There you go. There you go. Right? Coach looks tired. Yeah, he looks worn out. Right? Jake looks like a creamsicle.
Yeah, not everybody can do it, but some of us have to.
What do you mean? That was your only clean shirt today, or what's the story?
I mean, I got several of them, but, just working back in the colors.
You shouldn't do that again. 10% isn't that bad at all. It doesn't look bad. You're just fat. What do you all think this is the same as 2.9% on a 72-month deal James got on his Honda Civic? Exactly right.
Yeah, here's the problem, dude. James didn't get 2.9%. Bro's probably at like 18% interest.
What do we think James's credit score is? I don't even want to guess at that. Although, I mean, God is his banker.
More or less than 600?
Oh, more. He drives a Honda Civic. He can't be broke, can he? 10% isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. No, it's not. Speaking of James, as a fan of TCU.
See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Just the quick little inherent, dig. He's commenting from an account titled Texas State James and starts the comment with "as a fan of TCU." I mean, that's just that's what we're doing here, man.
I hope they use the money to expand the rectory.
Well, I'm taking an accelerated course in finance, so this line of credit's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's demon and stuff. I can see the ACC doing the same thing, but perhaps getting more because of the brand power. I can see Virginia Tech, Cal Pitt, and NC State doing it. Why would you think those guys have brand power? And why would you want more than 30 million? It's a line of, I think, are we really not clear on what a line of credit is? A line of credit is not a loan. A line of credit is not, hey, here's $30 million. You have 30 years to pay it back like your mortgage. A line of credit is, and it sounds like in this case, it may be a one-time use, but a line of credit essentially is, hey, you can use up to $30 million for whatever you need. It's approved. There's no, a line of credit is very different. Very, very different. And if Virginia Tech, Cal Pitt, and NC State use it, I'd be shocked. I just don't, I hope people understand that private equity deals, and as long as I can breathe air, I will say this. Private equity deals don't fix stupid. They just don't fix stupid. And that really is the difference between the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 and the ACC. The ACC and the Big 12 think we're just little fish in the pond trying not to get eaten by the shark.
I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man.
And the thing you can tell is the people who have money understand how to use a $30 million line of credit. The people who don't have money have all kinds of questions. Well,
when are we buying the next Escalade, Monty?
I mean, can I get some new Cavariccis with this money? No.
How about a new 20-gallon hat, Monty?
It's not something that you just willy-nilly use. It's an opportunity for you to make money. But people who don't make money don't know how to make money. And I know that sounds simplistic, but when you don't make money and you don't have money, you don't understand how to leverage money, your own money, to make more money. And it's deals like this that expose people like that. As simple as I can say it. Sub 600 credit for James. Nah, I don't think so. He puts his Buc-ee's sandwich on a line of credit. That is what Big 12 would do. Brisket for everybody, boys. Right? Was just talking about your video the other day. Nice to see you pop in, Aaron Wilson.
Well, Aaron Wilson's here. Is that the case?
Oh, look at that. He's been a member for 37 months.
Welcome back, dude. I mean, this is incredible.
Bro, you are missed on this show. You are missed on this show almost every day. Like it is tell us how your life is, mailman.
Yeah, give us a background check, dude.
Aaron Wilson is a legend on this show. And Aaron Wilson has had some struggles in his life. We all raised money for a water heater, I think, at one point, or was it HVAC? I think we raised money to fix a heating unit or something, or in your dad's house. Like, what is going on in your life? How are you? I hope you are healthy, happy, and well. The American will likely be the first G6 with a PC deal. Pernetti thinks similar to Yormark. Okay.
Doing a private capital deal would be a very Pac-12 thing to do.
Are you sure Texas State James isn't me? Are you sure?
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
I mean, we had no idea, dude. I mean, you have so many burners that I get confused. I mean, come on.
You're really telling me you think people believe that's you? No, they don't. That's the best part of it. We all know it's not you.
Monty, dude, Oak State James's right hand is actually James.
You know, so what? Okay. All right, Drew. Okay. Bucky's in Magic City probably does more damage to his wallet than his gut, Monty. Probably. Probably. James lives off of Affirm and Klarna. Affirm's a good Affirm's a tool. A line of credit is a tool. Mm-hmm. I've used Affirm. Mm-hmm. I bought all my Peloton stuff on Affirm. It is absolutely a tool if you use it well and responsibly. What do you all think about BYU staying out of this PE deal? I don't know why they would opt into it.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to opt into it.
I think it's a tool available to them should they choose to use it.
I just think it's pretty cut and dry for the situations. I mean, you're either somebody who likes this kind of opportunity and has been waiting for this to come down the pipe in the Big 12, or you're like, yeah, cool, like maybe some schools will use it, but we're in a really strong position. So
I'm trying to get ready for work and I'm catching all these strays. What the heck did I do to these people?
Bro, what didn't you do to these people? That's the question you should be asking, dude.
Beyond the fact that you're a fan of 37 schools, it's just it's your role on the show, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your credit score, by the way?
Know your role and shut your mouth.
And here you are from a burner account now. Please. This is not actually Oak State. I think he's a Syracuse fan, James. This is not actually him.
Obviously not.
This isn't Himmy. This is a parody account.
Don't lie to me.
As an Okie Light fan, I hope they use the money to build a Buc-ee's on campus. Rollers rule. I agree, James. Rollers rule. Ask Jake. Jake likes fecal matter on his taquitos.
Dude, I mean, that's just really good material, dude. That is really well done.
They want to know, James, if you have more credit than BDM playa status.
Yeah, you know.
Jesus, I don't even want to know what Big Daddy Magic's credit score is.
James, can you just, with your credit score, can you just give us the category with which your credit score falls in? Like prime, super prime, subprime, like just give us the category, the label. That way we at least can then speculate on your car. You know what I mean? That'll help the show move forward.
What do you mean speculate on his car?
Well, because you're sitting here saying that Buddy's got a plus 600 credit score because he was able to get into this thing. But I'm saying this thing doesn't reap plus 600 credit. This is many people could get into this situation.
All I'm saying is I'm hoping that James paid cash for this car.
Right, like this car is not this car, right? I mean, we're in the same we're on the same page, right? Like this car is not 600 credit material, right? Just the same way this car wouldn't be like 750 credit material. You know what I mean? Like that's two different things.
Let's look at our credit score. I'm willing to tell you what my credit score is because I happen to know it off the top of my head, but I'll just verify it.
Mm-hmm. Trust but verify, that kind of material.
Trust but verify.
Right, trust but verify. How many different
it went up.
How many different outlets do you look at to gauge your credit score? Because like you can look at it like, you've got, all the credit card companies will tell you what it is, Wells will tell you what it is.
I pretty much exclusively trust Chase. Chase and Citi are usually the two closest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you my credit score because it'll piss people off, but
well, it starts with a 9, and that's not my fault. Okay, it's just not my fault as a 1%er in this life.
Now I'm not James Comey, but it does start with an 86.
If you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
So, and I do. This is my car. So You do the math. I am a frog. You're not a frog.
No, dude,
no,
you're not.
You are not. God.
You're not.
I grew up a Syracuse fan. When they changed to the orange, I left. My credit score is none your business. My credit score is 867. What's yours? And now, Monty credit score is shells on a beach. Yes, it is.
Correct. That's
Bailey
correct.
Dietrich. And now we have Orange Man James. Yes, we do.
Right.
Yes, we do. You know. Matchup throwdown. I was just trying to be nice, but a Civic is definitely a buy here, pay here special. It looks like that.
James,
It does
serious
look like
question,
that.
dude. When do you think you'll upgrade the car, bro? When do you think you're going to get into a more comfortable situation, a more modernized situation?
If ever.
If ever. A great point. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. You can take an intensive class on your credit score if you like. You're a damn cowboy, James. Come back to your roots. Dress up as Pistol Pete. That's what I'm saying. I'm a frog. Oh, look, Orange Man James. Bucky's in Syracuse would be awesome. Notice in the background, Monty's in the background.
Oh, it's been updated. Okay.
And notice that James has a collar on.
Yeah, here's the problem with that graphic in the background, though, dude. Monty's not a pep guy. Not a pepperoni, dude. You got to update that.
Pepperoni's disgusting.
Yeah, pepperoni's ass.
Easily the worst. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. I get my free score from each of the 3 credit bureaus each year. You should be able to know your credit score can be updated every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think isn't Capital One the one that updates it every single day? I get it once a week from Citi, and I track it very closely. I have alerts. My credit's locked, so you can't get new loans or so, you know. Oak State fired Casey Schrum. That's just wrong. No, it's not. Oak State's incompetent and embarrassing as an athletic department. Frog fan James, more like fraud fan James.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's fraud. I just think that bro tries to be a fan of like 80 different teams.
Yep. If y'all buying your car on credit, you're broke. See, and again, this is a philosophical conversation.
Incorrect, dude. That's incorrect.
Why would I hand BMW $120,000 when they give me 4% for a loan? Why would I hand them?
Why would you, and this is the premise I've never understood about people who are like, oh, just cash everything. Why would you give, to double down on Monty's point, why give $120,000 on a vehicle or whatever the amount is, right? It could be a $30,000 car. It doesn't really even matter, right? But like, why would you give 5 or 6 figures to a loan or a dealership when you're not going to keep that car through the life of the loan 9 times out of 10? So you're giving them $120,000 to then try to recoup that money that you're never going to get back because the car depreciates? Why would you do that? Instead, why wouldn't you just be, I mean, what if you own, I mean, honestly, like if you own the car, like you'll probably own that car 50 months, maybe or so, maybe, you know, like, so you're talking about, let's just use round numbers and say, you know, 50 of the 120 you'd actually pay. Why would you give them 120 grand in a lump sum? That's literally dumb.
Don't understand that.
I'll never understand it, man. It's so silly, dude.
Fraud. I'll be at class in Fort Worth tomorrow. How is that fraud? Because just because you're a student there doesn't mean that you're some diehard or, dude, it's convenient. That's why you're going to TCU. It's convenient. It literally, it is as simple as that. It is convenient.
Yeah.
You're not, let's not play this tomorrow like, hey, Monty. No. You're only there because it feels cool to be a TCU fan. And you want to fit in with your
brethren,
fellow Seaman Demon people.
Come on, dude.
Great. That's cool. You should, you're a Syracuse fan. Simple as that. Congratulations, James, for breaking the record of who has the most burner accounts. Exactly right. You know,
Yeah.
If they given you 4%, you overpaid for the vehicle. No, I don't think that's the case.
Nope.
Actually got it under appraised value. Car loans are stupid. Pay cash and use trade-ins. I will never pay
Y'all
cash
are
for a
so
car.
uneducated about this. This is incredible, dude. Like I love when people come into the comments section and they start talking about stuff they know nothing about, and they absolutely expose themselves for being totally irresponsible and having no clue what the proper way to do it is. It's incredible, dude.
Why? So the minute you drive off the lot with a car, it depreciates.
Yeah.
Why would I pay cash for that? Ask, how does that math? How does that math? It doesn't math. I have Capital One. Didn't start using a credit card till early last year, and I've gotten to almost 730. So what kind of turn off credit cards from my brother getting into debt and dad not against it? Well, what I would tell you is, and I don't know how we got into this today.
Big 12 private equity. That's how.
There you go. The way you should be using your credit cards is, and it depends on what your situation is. I would tell you start with one credit card that you buy everything on. Everything. You pay nothing with your debit. I haven't used my debit card in years. One, it's dangerous because you don't want to give anybody access directly to your cash. That's your base. That's your power.
Your fortitude of solace.
So there's that. And then, for instance, I'm an Amex customer. So I have 3 Amex cards. I have one that's a Bonvoy that gets me hotel points. I have one that's a Delta card that gets me airline tickets. And I have their Centurion card. I don't have a credit limit on the Centurion card. And I get free digital entertainment. I get, I think I get a $55 Uber credit every month. So the first $55 of Uber that I use, I get it back in a refund. Like I get all these benefits from it. And it builds my credit. Legitimately, my credit score is 867. Why would I pay cash for my BMW? Ask yourself how that maths out. It doesn't math out. When I am in the category where I can walk into any car dealership and buy any car I want. And the only reason I didn't take their 0 APR program is I didn't want the payment that comes with 0%. But not only did they pay off my car, they paid off my Grand Cherokee plus $1,000. You got a deal that was, I think, $6,500 under book value. Like, there's no reason it just makes no sense to pay cash for that. It makes no sense. I put everything on an Apple Card and pay it as soon as possible. It helps my credit, puts cash back in a high yield, not really high yield, but they say that. My Apple Card is only for devices. Only for devices. A MacBook, I get what is it, 24 months of 0%. Again, I ask you, why would I pay my MacBook? I think was, let's call it $3,000. Why would I pay $3,000 out of pocket upfront when Goldman is willing to give me the $3,000 in credit and not charge me for that line of credit? Why would I pay upfront for that? I wouldn't. There would be no reason for that. There would be no reason for that. And if I paid off in 24 months, which I did, if I paid off in 24 months, the money is free to me. It costs me nothing. It just, you have to learn how to leverage money to make you more money. Because if I keep the money in my bank account, then I get paid interest on that. And if I move it to my Amex high interest savings account, I get 5% every month on it.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. So you just have to learn how to leverage that money to make you more money. It's not difficult. I have used a preferred member Lot Lizard credit union card, but that was before I got married. Okay. Okay. I am in finance. The Dave Ramsey cash strategy is only relevant because most Americans are fiscally illiterate, especially concerning debit and credit. That's exactly right. Yeah, all this financial advice is very good financial advice most of the time, but it is specific to your financial situation. If you have debt, this is a completely different situation. I have zero debt. You should not be rolling around with debt, especially in this economic climate. You have to get rid of your debt. The problem is millennials and Gen Zers are walking around with usually a minimum of $10,000 in credit card debt, minimum. And that doesn't include their student loans. You can't live your life that way. You cannot live your life that way. You cannot afford it. You trust me when I tell you what we've done to millennials and Gen Zers with that is criminal. It is absolutely criminal. We've put them in a position where they can't even afford to buy a home to get out from under that debt. So, contrary to what some people believe, paying for things in cash is a better option for some. It is. But it depends on what it is and what the situation is. It just depends. I would never tell you to buy a home for cash, and I would never advise you to buy a car for cash. Those two things I would specifically tell you. Now, if you want to buy a house, and let's say you want to buy a house and you want to put a 50% down payment down, I'll probably even try to talk you out of that. But I could even see that. If you want to control your mortgage payment so that your payment is, my mortgage payment's literally on my home here in Salt Lake, my mortgage is $1,500. Why would I put a ton of money down when I have a $1,500 mortgage? You would never do that. You would never, ever do that. So yeah, it's all dependent on what your need is and what your situation is. Mm-hmm. That's what I would tell you. For Apple devices, I pay the monthly payments. I don't pay it all off. Yeah, and I would tell you to watch what the credit score on that is, or the APR on that is. What's up, Jeremiah Champion? Good to see you. Well, let's reset because it feels like we walked into a completely different situation. The Big 12 has made a private equity deal. StreamYards. The Big 12 has made a private equity deal that essentially injects $12.5 million into the Big 12 commissioners' pockets to make more money. The league office gets $12.5 million that they can use to facilitate more money-making operations. The league did this deal with RedBird Capital, and I think this is the most important part. RedBird Capital will have a significant voice in the next media rights deal that the Big 12 does in 2030. And let's not forget, they hold a significant operating stake in Paramount, which will soon, obviously with CBS, own TNT. Do you think that relationship's going to come in handy in 2030? Yeah. I would say that it would, even though the Big 12 right now is already in bed with ESPN and Fox, which is exactly where you want to be. And that's why they have a very good TV deal. But at the commissioner league level, I think this is as good a deal as you could have gotten. And I think if you are at the university level in the Big 12, the part of this that makes the most sense is that there is a $30 million line of credit that is optional for every university in the Big 12. It is a one-time opt-in. Here's $30 million payable on a 10% interest rate. I think it's exactly what you want. And I would tell you, there might be 2, maybe 3 universities in this league that opt into that line of credit. And I would tell you, it certainly would not be BYU and Texas Tech, who are well-heeled. But I would be shocked if it was more than 2 to 3 universities that opt in, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's such a, again, as we've had this conversation this morning, I just think it's such a situational thing. You know, it's more like I'm sure we're all on the same page that this conversation for these universities is more than just like, hey, we want to buy this or buy that. I think that you're basically trying to put a plan together for the next year to 3 years if you're interested in using this. Okay, if we use this, what do we want to use it for? Are we using it for something that costs us money? Or are we using it for revenue generation? Like, how are we, what are we thinking we want to leverage it with? And then from there, it's like, all right, cool. Like if we spend, again, let's say somebody would spend like 20 out of the 30. If we spend $20 million, that out of the available 30, what's our plan to pay that back? And how does that impact what we're already doing? And so I just think that it is for the universities an opportunity. But at the same time, if you're somebody who hasn't been great with the money portion of athletics to up into this point, I'm not sure that there's probably a high comfort level with using this. And I think that I would agree that some of these universities could really use this to bump up their revenue. That to me, like if you're Baylor or if you're one of these schools that's struggling financially, that to me is how I personally would use this. I would say, okay, cool. We have this opportunity, this cash influx that we can use in the form of a line of credit. How can we take that money and build a bigger war chest that we can then go and compete with? And that to me is really where the league needs to go. And I would guess, speculating here, but I would guess that if you're Brett Yormark, you would have kind of sent that message to your member institutions like, hey, this is not just so you guys can go and buy equipment or something. Like, yeah, you could do that, but the big opportunity here is to grow your funding, is to get into a better place financially. So when you want to fire Dave Aranda 5 years ago, you can, and you can afford the buyout, you can move on from him and you can get into a better place. And that, I just think that it's at the conference level, it's cool. The optics are good around it. It's innovation. It's what the Big 12 has been known to do. But I'm just going to keep hammering the point home, just like I have since Stanford in the Pac-12 situation came up. Dude, if you're not going to win, nobody cares.
Yep.
That's all that matters here.
That's the entirety of it. You bet if you're going to use this money, you better use it to win games. Rock and Rant. This seems like an optics deal, especially if only 2 or 3 teams take advantage of the dollars. Sorsby bet the under 4. Okay. That's a little bit of a low blow.
Come on, dude.
You're not wrong. Is what it is. Let's see. Stadium Guy James for $5. My pastor went to TCU. My wife went to TCU. You said she went to Baylor.
See, this is a problem, not to cut you off, but this is what I struggle with, James. It always changes. The story is always changing. You went to Oklahoma State. Now you're saying you went to Baylor. Now you're on. Now
you're from Syracuse.
Now you're from Syracuse, just north of Utica.
You're a Chiefs fan.
Like, we're getting to a point where Monty's getting so choked up about this because you need to create a Canva presentation about your life timeline, including when you divorced the Walmart manager and said that your wife wasn't hot.
And here's the question I have. Who cares if your pastor went to TCU? Who cares if the guy who trained me as a chaplain went to TCU? Who cares? What does that, like, is there a rule that I'm unaware of in the rectory rule book that I don't have access to, where whoever trains you to be a chaplain, you have to go and root for their team? Like, what is that? So essentially you got bullied into being a TCU fan. Okay. Look, it is what it is. Some of us are alphas. Some of us are betas. It's fine. The story never changed. I respond on X. I don't care.
Just respond here, dude. Just respond here. You don't.
What do you mean you respond on X?
Yeah, just respond
do you see how weird that is?
Yeah,
you're quite literally sitting here on a live show telling me, "Well, I'll respond on X."
Bro, we're streaming now, dude.
First of all, I don't go into X ever. Like, you very rarely, if ever, see me on X. I'll retweet some stuff. I may. You know, can they not use it some pay, some off, use it again, pay it back off, etc. It's a line of credit, so I would assume they would be able to do that, but they have a year to opt into it. You know, James, you can go your own way. Go your own way. It's a song lyric. It's just Fleetwood Mac. We need a flow chart for James, his life and his many fandoms. We do. That's in the Bible. I believe it is. I believe that is in the Bible, that if whoever trained you to be a pastor is a fan of, what's a really obscure university? Tarleton State. Tuskegee U. Florida Atlantic. Thank God. Thank God. No, legitimately, God, thank you that my guy who trained me to be a pastor didn't graduate from UTSA. You know, I have to go to work, have a good weekend.
That's a lie. That's a lie, dude. You don't have to go to work. You just want to take a different route to work today so that you don't have to listen to the show. But what I'm telling you is you need to stay in the shit box, go to work, have your commute, and let's continue the conversation. I mean, come on.
Okay, James, congratulations. You're officially off the hook. You are not the stupidest commenter. I mean, your comment's not the stupidest comment of the day. That'd be this one right here. You paid us $5 to get roasted because ain't nobody calling it U of O.
Are you a players program too?
It is not UO. It is OU. Boomer. Like, this is
this a real comment, dude? Are we serious with this right now?
Frank, I don't know you.
Paul didn't go in the hoop.
I loved the Fleetwood Mac reference. I had a huge crush on Stevie Nicks. I'd hit that. Middle Tennessee. Yeah, man, I'm so glad the guy who trained me. What did he say? He said, the guy who trained me to be a chaplain. Oh, man. You guys, I don't know what I did that God hates me.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
I got to tell you, I showed up for chaplain training today. And I wanted to walk out. I didn't because the power of Christ compelled me to stay. But I rolled in there today, and this guy had on a College of Lake County t-shirt.
This effing guy.
This fucking guy had on this fucking guy. He had on a Cal Polytechnic t-shirt. And as I took my vows to be a legionist type follower of his, I knew it was in that moment that I became an atheist because I ain't going to root for Tarleton State, boy.
He fucked up.
It was right then and there.
Hey, boy.
When that man who wanted to run a train on me had on... He had on that Shrewsbury State shirt. I knew.
Shrewsbury State.
God was not real.
God willing.
And the creek didn't rise.
Let's ride.
Aren't you glad, James, that when you showed up, that, you know, he didn't have on an IUPUI shirt? Indiana University, University of Indiana, Purdue.
No, I guess not.
Of Indianapolis. Weren't you glad? Weren't you glad that when you showed up to get a train run on you by the guy who
Here's what's going to happen.
Helped you become a chaplain? Aren't you glad that he didn't go to Lake Forest College?
I mean, I'm serious. Who comments? Who pays $5 to say you'll refer to my school as this, Monty? I mean, you're entering Gonzaga fan territory, dude. I mean, that's what that is, dude. That is what that is.
It's Gonzaga, by the way.
Gonzaga.
Like,
If I meet James, I will say, Demi, no. Demi, why you do this to me?
Gonzaga.
Yeah, it's the Exorcist, bro.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, I showed up and I just got to tell you.
It's Gonzaga, by the way.
I was really happy. I rolled in there and he had on a Duke basketball shirt. And you know me, I'm James. I'm a front runner.
Duke is Duke.
Go Dukies.
Yeah.
Which is what he said to me. Hey, Dookie.
He latered my ass.
He latered that. You know, James, does the chaplain training program, what does the chaplain training program look like? We looking at 6 months, a year? Is there a Hail Mary count you have to meet each week? All right, James, I got to be honest with you. We're going to have to keep you here another week. You didn't get your Hail Marys in. And I saw you rooting for North Carolina. Did you not see when I ran that train on you that it was a Duke program over here?
Biologics.
Boy. Jeremiah, I think I need to come up with a word timeout signal like they have a Batman sign signal. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Mike Smith. Yes, exactly right. Frank Potter for $10 more.
So we're at 15 now.
I don't want to know who Frank Potter is, and I don't know what this is about. How dare you mock the mighty Bobcats?
Venice Parade. Venice Parade.
You mean like the Charlotte Bobcats?
Or is this a Texas State reference?
I'm not sure which Bobcats you're talking about. Ryan Duffy, technically a Christian university. Okay.
Hey, man, you know.
Okay. James, I just appreciate that you're here every day, my guy.
It's all in jest, dude. It's all in good fun.
Chuck, IUPUI no longer exists. Is that right?
Wait,
End of
really?
an era. End of an era. That's a bummer. Ohio University Bobcats.
Oh, so that's what he means. Okay.
My bad. How did I not?
Sorry, how did we not know that? I mean, how is it that? Yeah, sorry, dude. We were not prepared to speak on the unfortunate death of what did we say? IUPUI, and that they had transitioned to the Ohio University Bobcats. Sorry, dude. I wasn't prepared for that today. My fault.
Colleges with the Bobcats. Bobcats sports, Montana State. Quinnipiac University. Oh man, I walked in there.
Monty.
Bro, I walked in there and this dude was going to train me up to be a chaplain. And this motherfucker had on a Quinnipiac University shirt. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, go ahead and try me then.
Now I got to tell Monty I'm a fan of the Bobcats. Oh, it's so funny because where is that comment? Where is it? My pastor went to TCU. Hey, man.
Hey, boy.
My wife, who gets her ass in the kitchen daily, went to TCU. And the guy who trained me as a chaplain went to TCU.
Your third leg was just phenomenal.
So, of course, I'm a Quinnipiac Bobcat fan. See, it makes perfect sense.
Come on, dude.
Admittedly, I thought about James yesterday. Did you guys see this story on Deshaun Watson?
Watson?
God, stupid StreamYards. Did you guys see this story on Deshaun Watson? Jake, did you put it? You didn't put it in there.
Well, I mean, you know.
Let me get it. So Deshaun Watson is a quarterback with the Cleveland Browns.
Somehow.
And Mary Kay Cabot, Mary Kay Cabot got online yesterday and said, we should just make him the starting quarterback right now. Go all in.
All in.
Right? Which is what I understand. That's the best way, all in.
Okay,
Anyway.
that's enough. Stop, please.
Yeah, anyway, the point is, Mary Kay Cabot goes online and says, I think they should declare Watson QB1 ASAP. Let the first team offense start to cook. There's no time to waste. Okay. Anybody? How do you guys feel about that? Well, I know how Shiloh Sanders feels about it because he and Oak State James were clearly hanging out. Because you see the comment at the bottom of this? Shiloh Sanders, who is Shador's brother, as you know, commented and said, quote, go make a sandwich, Mary.
Oh, bro, dude.
So let me get this right. Oak State James hacked Shiloh Sanders' account.
Dude.
And said, go make a sandwich, Mary.
There's some wild shit going on right
James, dude, I didn't realize you were such a big Mary Cabot fan, man. I didn't realize you were about that action.
Shiloh Sanders said, go make a sandwich, Mary.
I mean, listen, James, if this is your strategy to get the ladies, I mean, maybe we need to revamp that.
This fresh off of the show yesterday where noted TCU fan James said, oh, hey, you got to get you a woman that gets in the kitchen, boy.
Literally, he said that, dude. He literally said that.
You got to do something for me. Monty, you got to find you a woman that'll get in the kitchen.
And I love that that's how he phrased it, too. He's not like, yeah, my wife, you know what? My wife is actually a really phenomenal cook and is excellent at what she does. No, he just goes full douche guy mode and goes, yeah, you need to find you a woman that'll get her ass in the kitchen. Like, come on, dude.
She's a sports fan, Monty, but the best part is she's in the kitchen.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Oh, what? Hey, Shiloh, what are you looking for in a woman? Somebody that's in the kitchen?
Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Can you believe he commented, go make a sandwich, Mary? That's incredible. That James jumped over the puddle curb and someone called him a Mary like they did George Costanza. Yes, he did. Mary is a sandwich artist. Very well could be. Yes, Shiloh clearly watches the Monty program.
Obviously. I mean, who doesn't watch the Monty program? That's really the better question.
If you're Shador, do you think this is funny? Because I got to be honest with you, while we have this up, why do the Cleveland Browns hate Shador Sanders?
Don't get it.
Why on earth would you go all in on Deshaun Watson when you have a guy who showed you he's got significant ability and you need to figure out if he can be a franchise quarterback? There is no question Shador showed you he's got the ability to grow and become the guy you've been looking for, I don't know, since Tim Couch was here.
Baker.
Shake and Baker, God, they still have not gotten over that terrible decision. Again, yeah, let's give the Browns a $30 million line of credit.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
How did you let Baker go? Anyway, the point is, you have Shador Sanders who looks capable, so you're going back to the washcloth guy? And now Shiloh's like, hey, Mary, go make a sandwich. This is what the mockery of Cleveland Brown fans has dribbled
been based
down
on,
to.
dude. I mean, you're just not escaping it. That's what I'm saying. Like, this crap about them having a great draft, like they did, statistically, but nobody believes that you're going to develop any of these guys. Nobody believes that all of a sudden you're a first-class organization. Like, sorry, dude, you're not getting the benefit of the doubt on that, dude. Not happening.
I have no idea what you do with this. Look, Deshaun Watson at one time was inarguably one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Mm-hmm.
He is not that now. He is a barnacle. He is a broken down shell of himself. If you're the Cleveland Browns, what are you doing with the quarterbacks, Jake?
I mean, listen, if I don't believe that Deshaun can get back to his former self. It's been so long. It's been so long, an Achilles tear later, or re-Achilles tear later, whatever, the drama,
Drama.
anyone can put out workout tape. Anyone can say, oh, I'm having a great offseason and man, I've moved on. But the reality is you're not going to be able to get over the question of who puts the Browns right now in the best position to win. I struggle with that being Deshaun Watson, mainly because it's been, what has it been? 4 seasons now or whatever it's been?
84 years.
Since he was anything in the league. So I just think if you're the Browns, you're already ass. Like, let Shador get the reps. Give him the keys. Let him get better. He's shown you that he grinds his ass off and is in shape and is a tape nerd. Like, he's all about it, man. It's his whole life, yet you won't give him a real legitimate opportunity. So that I would be going with Shador, but again, I mean, what's the leash going to be for Deshaun? I mean, how long are you going to leave him out there, dude? Because it's pretty clear he's going to start.
I would go all in on Shador. There's no question about that. Jeremiah, haha, was that a Titanic reference? Yes. Yes, it was. Yet the Browns crushed the draft. I would like to think they did, but does it matter if you don't develop your talent?
Nope.
Right? Brian Sipe and Bernie Kosar, man. I hope Bernie's not drinking. When you go back to and all in on Captain Washcloth, you clearly are a dysfunctional organization.
Facts.
Truth. Browns fans have been crapped on so many times over the years. They deserve better. Yes, they do. Another Brian Sipe reference. I like it. Chuck. I like it a lot. Alex, I'm so glad I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. One of the worst franchises in NFL history. How about the Chicago Bears? Did you hear this yesterday? There was a league meeting about relocating the Bears. Yeah, everybody agreed. Yeah, we need more information. Okay, cool. Thanks. They also agreed the state of Illinois needs to step up to the plate and pay for the stadium. Okay, cool. All right, see you in Hammond because, well, I won't see you in Hammond because you're dead to me at that point. But, you do you, McCaskies. You do you. It was always about a handout. You really think the Browns crushed the draft? I'm not saying they didn't. But should we just believe? Because what'd you do? Spencer Fano with that first pick. Concepcion in Boston. So three pieces to help the offense, whoever the quarterback ends up being. McNeil Warren, the kid from Ohio. Is he from Ohio? No, Toledo.
My bad. I get confused.
Toledo, Ohio. And then you went heavy offensive line. And let's not forget Carson Ryan from BYU. Well, it's a good draft, but you got to develop that talent. Because if you don't, there's just no point to it. And they are notorious for not. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not ready to get all up in that.
Not yet.
I am ready, but I'm not. Okay. It was said yesterday, but damn, if the NHL playoffs aren't so good right now, I think the Stars bite the dust tonight, especially if they stay 5-on-5 most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
Why bring up the NHL?
Yeah.
Why?
I was hoping to avoid the NHL, and I was hoping to avoid that botched, elimination game by the Lakers last night.
Sit up. Straighten out. The Mammoth lost that game in double OT last night. And had so many chances to win that series last night. because obviously you're tied at 2. Whoever wins game 5 is going to win that series. And you lost it in double overtime. We call that the Ryan Smithification of the Utah Mammoth.
That's tough.
That is very tough. When you say the state should pay, do you mean the taxpayers? Exactly.
Correct.
Look, Hegseth, settle down.
It really genuinely ruins it for me, man. Like I really do despise that owners of professional sports teams do this. Like, I understand that you don't get rich by giving away your money, but at the same time, owners don't seem to understand the premise that if you double down in the community, they will pay you back basically in perpetuity. Like they will show out for you for hundreds of years. And I just think that's what I don't get about the Bears situation at its core. I understand that, you want the city or the state to the taxpayers to split it or pay for it, or you're trying to get some type of handout. But I mean, how long are you going to do this before you realize that going to Hammond, Indiana, even if you're just 1 inch over the state line,
and you
cares.
know about being 1 inch.
Yeah, nobody cares if you're 1 inch or 100 miles over that state line. Like, you're in Indiana, and that just would be one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in professional sports, dude. Nobody will go. It is betrayal to the fan base. There's no question.
100%. Yes, I agree. Hammond is not a great spot because they don't know because they don't know what they're doing. I would agree with that. The Browns used to have so many bad drafts, even with 2 picks in the first, but they do occasionally get a few good players. Yeah. I guess you move your franchise to Gary. That'll show them. Yeah, that'll them. Move to a place where it's going to cost you twice as much to build the stadium. That'll show them. Arlington, Texas is giving Jera another $250 for the Death Star. Hopefully they buy curtains this upgrade. Do you see how much money they had to dump into Arlington for the World Cup? I don't understand this want to host the World Cup. All these stadiums, they're doing the World Cup in a lot of NFL stadiums, which has a really low playing surface. Like, the level of the playing surface is very low. I think in Arlington, I believe here in Seattle, they did it. Like in several in Atlanta, certainly. In several of these destinations, they drilled the floor. The event floor where, you play NFL football, completely took it out, repoured it so that they could raise the level of the playing surface to accommodate the World Cup. And you're not allowed to call it Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they're going to cover the Mercedes-Benz logo.
Now,
what's the point of Mercedes-Benz paying you?
The good news is you're not going to cover the roof. So if the roof is closed, Mercedes will still get that inherent sponsorship, that inherent, brand recognition on that building. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand. We've been doing this for decades in this country. Why are you trying to force soccer down our throat? We don't want it. We don't embrace it. It's not our sport.
But in our current climate, why is this what we're spending money on? You can't, Brendan won't even pay his buyout at Cincinnati, and you can't chip him off $1 million instead of drilling the floor in our, probably too much. The point is, I'm just surprised. Do you ever make your money back on that?
I mean, I would guess, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. The World Cup and things like the World Cup and like these sort of outside of the traditional core 4 sports in our country, my want to for it is so low.
Yes.
And I know I'm not a soccer guy. You're more of a soccer guy than I am, obviously. But like, I just look at it from an event standpoint, and I'm like, my desire is probably higher for F1 than it is for World Cup soccer, honestly. And I can get into the women's team being really good. I got into that the last time the World Cup came around. That was a lot of fun. The men's team has been ass every year. They're not very good. It is what it is. But, I don't know, man. It's just not. You'll never catch me at a World Cup game. I will never pay for that with my own money. That's not happening.
On the other hand, I would have gone to the Olympic tournament. The tickets were so stupidly outrageous. I would have gone to the Olympic tournament, no question about it. The World Cup is going to be. I'm very curious to see what happens to Seattle during the World Cup. Because I think this town is going to be off the chain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a circus, dude. I think there's going to be so many people there. I understand the economic impact to the local areas where the World Cup is. I understand why it makes sense and why, cities and municipalities want it. I get it. But it's just such a project to put it on. That's the thing. It's just so over the top to get it done. But the irony of the whole thing is that the World Cup takes the playing surface more seriously than the NFL does, which I think is a massive hypocrisy.
Yeah. I don't know. Rock and rant. The World Cup is actually pretty damn amazing, and I'm not a big soccer guy, but between FIFA and the climate in the country right now, it's going to be a disaster, and it didn't have to be. No. They did give him that peace medal, though. I'm not into racing, but I thought it was a cool idea that they were doing the Indy Grand Prix in the streets of DFW.
Yeah, it's always been a cool concept.
Yeah. I love English Premier League Chelsea. Hey. Even though we fire managers every 15 minutes. But I loathe MLS. Yeah, I don't watch. Matt Muldoon, an 11:50 train ride from NYC to MetLife is going to be $150, and that's mandatory. They are not letting anyone park there. The security is outrageous. Are we a soccer country?
No.
Because we try to put it off as we're a soccer country.
I don't know who's trying to send that message, but I'm not. I just think that why is the world so in love with soccer, but we're not? Oh, that's right, because they don't have American football. So it's different. Globally, it's different. And that's why I'm saying there's just cultural differences in our country and the world. And I'm not even saying it's better. It's just a difference. And I think that football for us in this country is the bread and butter, man. You want to sell out a stadium, put a football game on. That'll get it done.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Just give France the trophy now. Killian. I'm a huge soccer guy, but more so EPL with Tottenham. Oh. Really?
Garbage.
Tottenham sucks. Anyway, soccer is cheaper for young people to start out in. That I would agree with. I remember being on what was basically a peewee soccer club as a kid. They were pushing soccer back then and still never really has turned out as much as they wanted. I would agree with that. A hundo P. I would also agree that Greg Sankey's a god and you hate him, and I still don't understand it. If somebody wants to explain to me why you hate Greg Sankey, I'm here for it. Because I believe he is the most influential voice in all of college football. Now, we've talked a lot about me on this show. I'm good looking.
Me?
I'm really smart. I'm not dumb enough to wear a salmon colored shirt.
Me?
I would never do such stupid things.
I don't get down like that.
Now, I haven't gotten a Medal of Freedom from the World Cup Federation crooked guys, but I'm pretty peaceful. And Greg Sankey listens to the show. How would I know that, you might ask? Well, because thankfully, Greg Sankey went on the Paul Feinbaum show. Feinbaum went on the Feinbaum show yesterday and stole all my verbiage.
Remember the days of old when
everybody talked about we need to determine champions on the field. Well, what do we do through the SEC championship game? We determine champions on the field. Now, you can do it another way. You could just say, we're not going to have a championship game, winning percentage, tiebreakers like we have co-champions reign, and then you'll have to determine your CFP qualifier. So one of the counters, we determine a champion on the field. The other perspective is we can determine a champion now that we play 9 games. The second is we do have contracts. And you don't just get to walk away from agreements. That happens in college football a lot, and we see with individual decisions, but as an organization, we have a great relationship with the Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the city of Atlanta. And so those should not be just microphone moments for people to opine. We have to do the work to figure out if we were to vary from a conference championship game, what's the work that has to be done. And then thirdly, what we did as a league way back in the early 90s, we've made a movie about it. It airs on the SEC network. Everyone has followed. So the flippancy with just moving away, we need to tone that down and figure out how to manage the economics, the contracts, the competitive issues, and what that means for our own group of 16.
Now, that's a very long-winded way of saying, yeah, the Monty Show's great. Don't get rid of conference championship games. Why would you? Right? You can't get rid of them. I think it's incredibly important that you keep those conference championship games in place because it makes you money and there are relationships on the line.
Yeah, but they've got to have I'm not saying to get rid of the conference championship game, but you got to have a structure that makes that game vital to the process. That's what people are upset about is that the conference championship game does not give, like in the scenarios in the other conferences or whatever, where you've got, let's just say Tech playing, BYU, and everybody knows Tech's probably going to win that game, and Tech's already in the CFP. There's not any advantage to playing the game for Tech. There's no point to them playing that game because they're already in the CFP and they've already, established themselves as the best team in the conference on the field from a winning-losing standpoint. So I think that's the conversation around it is I agree. I think we have talked many times on the show that the conference championship game model is what should have been feeding the CFP from the beginning, right? It should have been that you have to win the conference championship game, and the conference champion is who gets into the CFP. And so through expansion, the conference championship game stuff has been watered down because there's so many at-large bids now. And so I just look at it and I say, dude, like I'm fine with an expanded model, but auto bids should be decided through the conference championship. It shouldn't just be the committee saying, oh, well, yeah, you're number one ranked, so you're like, that's not what it should be. You have to, in my opinion, you should have to win that game because then if you set it up that way, you don't have to worry about your contracts and current relationships because they're not affected. In fact, that benefits them, I would argue.
I think the conference championship game has to be an automatic qualifier. And again, I tell you, I think it should be the only automatic qualifier. I think you should have 4 auto qualifiers, the conference champion from each Power 4. And then I'm not a believer in 24. I'm just not. I think it should be 16 and that's that. But what have I told you about what being the number 1 seed means or what being one of the 4 conference champion means? Yeah, you should get to pick where you play and you should be playing on your home campus.
So I was asked on the way out, did you talk about like eliminating Tuesday ranking shows? We really did not. We talked about the schedule of those shows, but we did not talk about whether those exist or not. We had a brief conversation about format, really understanding the timing of decisions that relate to the 2027 season. So by the end of November, I think December 1st is the actual date, we'd have to make a decision if we vary from 12. And last year decided to not vary from the 12-team format. I think those were the 2 kind of key issues. and the discussion around bowl games. So there are some differences. It's interesting next year, the opportunity for the 1 seed to pick its path. The location of its quarterfinal bowl and the location of its semifinal bowl, and then the 2 seed to have a quarterfinal bowl option and obviously placed in the semifinal bowl. So we talked about those logistical issues. Really good TV success, really good attendance success last year, and how do we continue to build? Those are the real key topics.
I like it a lot. I think you should be able to control your destiny. And it's scumbags like Ward Manuel who ruined this whole thing by trying to screw Ohio State, who ultimately went on to dominate. And I think the only fair thing to do is to be able to play at home. You should be able to play at home. I don't believe that you should have to go on the road until you get into the final 2 games.
Yep.
The semifinal and the final should be big to-do events in destination cities. Totally down with that.
Neutral sites.
And the first 2 rounds, I think, should be in your home stadium. You've earned that. If you're a conference champion and one of the top 4 seeds, you should have the right to play the first 2 games in your stadium. If you can't win at home, who are you, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers? Good, screw them. Screw them. You don't deserve to go on. If you don't win at home, what other excuse do you have?
Yep.
So I'm all in favor of it. And again, I'm going to sit here and tell you that Greg Sankey is the only voice of reason in this entire thing. Because he's not trying to shrink or eliminate people. He's not trying to create an easy path for his own constituents. I do believe that Greg Sankey's trying to build a playoff model that's best for college football and determining who the best college football team is. And you don't need 24 teams in the playoff to do that.
Yeah, the only reason I would say that 24 is a reasonable idea is only because as the sport grows, like it's, obviously we want more games of leverage. That would be my only argument for it. I think that there's certainly, it's really a pros versus cons conversation with 24. 16 I think is a really nice landing spot. I think it works well. I'm cool with that. 24 on the other hand, I think then you're getting into the conversation around schedule and, how the conference championship games work and what the committee's responsibility is or isn't. When does the season actually start? Because that's been a conversation too. I just think there's a lot of that you have to work through when you expand, when you basically double the size of the college football playoff from 12 to 24.
Yeah.
So, I also think the one other thing I don't want them to miss is the bubble games. The Notre Dame Miami situation from this past year that inevitably plays out every single year, where you've got the committee creating drama with who they select or don't select. And I absolutely think they should adopt that from the pro models, right? We have basically all the professional sports leagues now are doing some form or fashion, some version of, hey, there are 2 teams left that are going to vie for the last spot in the CFP, right? You either win or you lose. It's that simple. And I love that. I think that's a huge opportunity. The home field advantage component should be there. If you've got a better record or better strength of schedule, whatever the metric is, great. Have a home field advantage situation taking place. But you want to build drama in this thing. That's how you do it, man. Have conference championship games because you basically want to extend the CFP impact window as long as you can. Hey, I want that thing to bleed all the way back into early October if we can, because in early October, we can start to project, all right, well, this is the remaining schedule you have left. We've got about 3 weeks left in the regular season or whatever it is. And then from there, we can say, okay, cool. We've got some drama here. If Ole Miss goes to LSU and somehow finds a way to beat Lane in Death Valley at night, they're likely going to, they're going to win the conference, or they're going to get that. That's what we need to be able to do in college football. But instead, all we get to do right now is say, all right, well, cool. If they go and win that big game, the committee should put them in, but Ward Manuel is the chair, so they won't get in.
Correct.
Or something like that. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Yeah, and I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix it. I would love to fix it. You're not going to please all the people. Let's just be straight about it. You're not going to please all the people. You're not going to answer all the questions.
But I just don't think all the people matter at this time. I think that the G6 conversation or even the lower end P4, like those people don't matter in this conversation right now because they're not in the conversation. They are not deciding or impacting what gets done because they haven't been relevant. So on a day when we started the show and led the show with a Big 12 private equity deal, you're also seeing on the other side of that coin, it's like, hey, BYU and Texas Tech, as an example, in the Big 12, should absolutely have a big say in how the Big 12 messages and how Brett Yormark goes to those CFP meetings or whatever with the other commissioners and talks and how they feel about it. BYU might be the best example of what I'm referencing. Like BYU should have been able to compete with one other team, decide who gets in there. That should have happened. Just
so like a playing game.
Yeah, exactly. A playing game. Yep. And Notre Dame and Miami should have had to play because it wasn't the issue is that ultimately we want a committee to take their opinion out of it and just use the stats we give them or the analytics we give them. But humans are incapable of doing that. It's an asinine way to go about it. You can't say to someone, hey, well, you're a president of West Virginia or a random school in the P4, but we need you to take your opinion out of it and just look at the facts. Nobody's capable of doing that, dude. I don't care who you are, what we're talking about. Your opinion on some level is bleeding into the conversation. So instead of that, just have it decided on the field, dude. It's not, I just don't think it's rocket science.
And I will continue to say what you do on the field has to matter. And I know people are like, well, that's obvious, Monty. It's not. Clearly, it's not obvious.
If it was obvious, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, and Notre Dame wouldn't have been controversial last year because they didn't belong in.
Yeah, and the infamous Bavacqua clip would have never happened. He wouldn't have been in a position to have to say something like that.
24 is way too many. 16 is the butter zone. 4 to 5 guaranteed for winning your conference, plus 12 at large. Bubble games on conference champ weekend.
So bro just worked in whey protein, enough butter for all the toast, and some
by
chewy
the
bubble
way
gum. Nice job, dude.
By the way, if everyone is cool with 14 of 32 NFL teams going to the playoffs, why does 24 of 70 for 135 FBS freak people I don't think it's a percentage. 24. The problem is when you get to 24, you don't have a legitimate way to determine who those 24 teams are. I just think you're muddying the water just for the sake of making sure that the Big Ten gets extra teams in. It has to at some point matter what you did on the field. At some point, we need a system where the games you won and the games you lost determine if you're in or you're out of the postseason. And we don't have that right now. We got fat ass in Ann Arbor trying to make decisions and making decisions to damage his rival.
And at what point with expansion in the CFP do we leave the whole narrative around these are the best teams in college football? Because that's what it's supposed to be. The best teams in college football competing to win a national championship. I can legitimately make a case that a 15 seed, let's say, a 15 seed, a 14 seed, a 16 seed on the football field in some years can compete with the top 5, depending on location and how healthy they are. You can make that case if you're looking at squads like Louisville playing Miami, or you like Tech playing a middle of the road SEC team or Big Ten team, right? If Tech matched up with USC, let's say, and USC was like a 7 seed, that would be a really good game. So you can see like 1 through 16, I'm good with. But once you expand it to 24, then I think you start entering, as you said, the muddy water thing where it's like, all right, well, from 17 to 24, we need a lot of drama in those games. And we need to manufacture a way for those games to mean a lot because there's going to be some clunkers in those games. Like Because that's the other thing, dude.
Marcus makes a great point. It's going to be 24 because the TV folks make a lot of money on 24.
And listen, I'm fine with that contingent, right? Okay, cool. 24, great. All right, fine. Like he's not wrong about that, dude. I don't disagree with that.
It's a really good point. Yeah.
But the other dynamic you got to get out of the CFP is the Oregon JMU game from last year. You got to get rid of that in the CFP. I'm sorry, but
it has no
honest
place.
to God, literally, if you think back to it, how much time did you spend watching that game? I spent maybe 10 minutes watching that game. Yeah. Legit didn't watch most of it. Didn't need to watch most of it because you already knew what it was going to be.
Yes.
Like it's like that's a predetermined outcome at that point.
Yeah. David Persons, if we date the human element out of it, like carbon dating humans that look like elephants, so people like me. Is that what you like? Carbon dating human elephants? I mean, I don't know how. Like, do we just draw the bracket on the dead bones of fat people?
Is that vernal equinox?
Carbon dating human elephants. My bad. If we take the human element.
Okay. So the autocorrect on your crappy droid got you there.
He is a TCU guy, and now James has destroyed all things TCU.
Right.
It becomes the BCS again. I think we can all agree that was a disaster. It was less than ideal.
Yeah, but I don't think that anyone look. Nobody's trying to go back to the BCS.
No.
When we talk about taking the human element out of it, what we're trying to do is find the what did Brandon say? The butter zone. Where the human element doesn't decide things, and we don't need computers. It's the NFL model decided on the field. I know for a fact that when this team and that team play, we're playing in this stadium because of that, and the winner or loser, the winner of this game goes on to play X, the winner of this or that game. And that's what you need in football to make to one, build better legacies in college football for players, but two, have a situation where it draws more viewership. It already does well, but you can have more.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that the G6 just does not belong in this conversation.
No.
And the JMU thing's a really good point. Like, it's not interesting.
Mm-mm.
You need, if we're going to do whatever the number is, you need the 16 teams that earn their spots and have a tiebreaker system, all of that. 4 that are instantly in because they won their P4 championship game. And then 12 more. And I want nothing to do with the scumbag AP writer who covers soccer but gets a college football vote.
Yeah.
Well, nothing to do with that. And I don't want computers doing it. I want the games on the field to matter. Period. That's it. And I'm telling you, it should be strength of schedule and then your record against other P4 opponents.
Yeah, that's why I think the neutral ground is how many P4s you're playing. I think if you're a P4 team in this conversation, you shouldn't be allowed or permitted to play the G6. You shouldn't be allowed or permitted to play some random. It should be all P4. It should be all P4 scheduling. And I understand that that's not sexy for the G6. That doesn't help them. That doesn't put them in a great spot. But I'm going to keep saying it, man. The G6 at some point's got to get their ducks in a row, and I would say just replicate what the P4 is doing at your level. Have your own CFP, dude. Have your own national championship of the G6. I'm good with that.
Interesting note, by the way. Interesting note. The Liv Golf's going out of business, it sounds like. And Brooks Koepka lost his club sponsorship today. That just broke right now. Brooks Koepka has lost his deal with Dunlop Sports. So we'll see. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm a squirrel with looking for nuts. NFL does not put a bottom team versus a much better team in the wild card game. Just saying. Totally agree.
Right, but the much better team, Mike, to your point, would never be in the wild card game. That's the essence of why the NFL model works, because the much better team is on
bye week.
Yeah, they're on bye. or they're a high enough seed to where their situation's different. That's what I'm saying. Like it's that those are the main issues. I don't want Oregon JMU, and I don't want 3 weeks or 2 weeks between one game to the next game. It's an unfair advantage. It should not take place in college football. Like, it just can't happen. I'm good. You've always said this. I think it's a great idea. You want to line this college football schedule up to be in tandem with the NFL and parlay that momentum of your championship into the NFL, the Super Bowl. Great. I'm down with that, dude. Line it up. Get it done. But we can't have one team taking 3 weeks off to come back and play it. That's not going to work, dude.
I would agree with that. I don't think it works at all. Rock and Rant, Han Solo just threw his hands up about all this playoff human element after he was just carbon dated.
Yes, correct.
Star Wars reference. Jake, the Star Wars was a legendary movie.
I know, yeah.
Biologics.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, bro was frozen in time and stuff. We get it.
No, he wasn't frozen in time. He was taken prisoner by Jabba.
Yeah, fat ass.
You should watch Star Wars. It's a pretty good movie. Go look at the playoff rankings for the past years and see some of the teams that would have made the 24. Not a good idea.
Because it's garbage.
I still maintain it's 16 because I agree it waters it down.
Yeah, I don't think that 24... Look, yes, there is risk in 24 in terms of watering down the quality of the game.
Certainly.
But I think that's where, if you're going to have the committee involved, that's where the committee has a responsibility to matchmake a little bit and say, hey, okay, cool. Here's the seeding. This is where we're seeding you. This is the kind of games we're trying to put together. And that's why I also think that there has to be a layer there. Like the top four are conference champions. They're on bye during the play-in week. Yep. And at that point, then you've got to say, okay, cool. From 5 to 16, those are all going to be P4 squads with a certain strength of schedule that we'll get through. And then 17 to 24 are going to be bubble teams that are based on a lot of opinion and conjecture. And that's where you will build the drama with the CFP, in my opinion. That's how it should be done.
Yeah, I think for me, it just makes too much sense to stay at 16. Bobby Bagels with the schmear. If the G6 was out of the equation, which they should be, then we wouldn't have to had Notre Dame Miami controversy last year.
Yeah, dude, you're not wrong.
But I want a play-in game.
Yeah,
Notre Dame and Miami should have played. Miami and Notre Dame should have played again last year. We'd have lost anyways, but Marcus
the last two seeds in a 16-team format, seed 15 and seed 16, should be decided by 2 playing games with the last 4 teams. That's how it should be done. No question about it.
I don't disagree. College football playoffs need to be over sooner. Way too much time between some of those games. Yeah, I mean, could be for sure. Chuck says Koepka can sign with McLaren Golf now. Justin Rose just did. I think he's a tailor-made guy.
Yeah, he's not. The McLaren thing is a cute little story for Justin Rose. Neat.
He's also British. You got to remember that.
He lives 5 minutes from the McLaren Racing headquarters. It's a match made in heaven. It works for him. Brooks Koepka needs to get his ass off the couch a little bit here and get the game going. He needs to get back to being a legitimate contender week in and week out. And everyone knows that game is within him, but at the same time, I always felt like Srixon / Cleveland Golf are the same company, just 2 different brands under one umbrella. I always felt like that club deal for him was always a little below his level. He's clearly a tailor-made guy, and if you don't want to be a tailor-made guy, then you're a Titleist guy. So I would agree.
What about Hideki? He's
carbon cut a tailor-made guy. I don't. Yeah, I mean, Deck's been a Srixon guy for ages, dude, and it works great. I mean, I don't have any. Deck wasn't the guy that went to Liv Golf. Deck was the guy who stayed. So,
yeah,
what
do you make of this Liv Golf story? Because if you didn't hear, and it is being told to the players, it probably already has, that the PIF is no longer funding Liv Golf after this season. And you may have heard that Liv Golf New Orleans was canceled. So there is no event. There is no Liv tournament from June 7th to July 23rd. 6 weeks of no Liv Golf. And now with this news, The reports are that dozens of Liv golfers have asked for clarity on how to get back on the PGA Tour. And I say you're no different than me. You have the same ability to get on the PGA Tour than I do. Go play and qualify. Go to Q school. Go back through the Korn Ferry Tour process. Get on the DP World Tour like Patrick Reed did. You have no status. You got to pay your fines, and then you got to prove that you belong on this tour.
Yeah, the question is going to be the ban. What? Because most people think that these guys are going to get a 1-year ban from the last date of their Liv Golf career, if we're calling it that. So basically, hey, the last round you played at Liv, there's a year ban. Then you could start working your way back onto the tour. That's what most people think is going to happen.
Which is why a lot of people are saying, and they were saying that a lot of guys are not going to continue on the Liv Tour. They're not going to continue because they want that ban to be. That's why people are asking for clarity, because there's
We were saying that.
There's no consensus. Even though they put up a gold statue at Doral, there's no consensus on how to get back to the Liv Golf Tour.
Yeah,
from the Liv Golf Tour to the PGA Tour. Or excuse me, the tour.
The tour.
There's no
The
clear-cut
Tour
path.
Championship.
Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka, the tour has said that route is no longer available.
Mm-hmm.
It was a one-time short window offer, and 2 guys took it. So now what? That's the biggest question. And I think this is going to be very interesting to see what happens. Very interesting.
Look, I think the heart of the conversation is there's 2 kind of Liv golfers that are trying to get back to the tour. There's the Liv golfer that the tour wants back on the tour.
Yep.
So like the John Rahms, the Brysons, those kind of guys who are bigger TV personalities that you want on the graphic on Sunday competing to win whatever event. Doesn't even have to be a major, but just, it's not in question that we need leaderboards in golf on the tour that are Scotty, Rory, Bryson, Rahm, just the bigger names, right? Like you need to get like Dustin Johnson if he's ever going to get back. Like you need those leaderboards from the iconic Masters leaderboard from 2019 is what we need more of in golf. That's what we need. And so some of these guys will garner favor from the tour and a little bit of leniency as to how they get back. But other guys like Cam Smith, like you're dead to me, dude. Take your ass back through Q school, dude. Like just any of your Sergio Garcia, you're dead to me. Sorry, dude. You're dead to me. Dustin Johnson, you're not dead to me, but you're also not a competitive golfer right now. So
it's what Bryson said about Liv Golf. Listen to what Bryson said about Liv Golf.
Liv's not going anywhere. HE has been steadfast in his belief on team golf, and whether everybody believes in it or not, I think it's a viable option. I think it's a viable commercial option. Our team has been EBITDA positive for the past 2 years, so we're starting to grow and move in the right direction, just like TGL.
We're moving in the right direction,
dude.
And Liv Golf's not going. That was 2 weeks ago?
You're a professional golfer, and you're on a dais doing a press conference where you rolled out the term EBITDA in economic terms to label the profitability and the health of your team. The core of golf is not team-based. Sorry, dude. It's not a team sport. It's you versus you hitting a ball. That's the essence of golf. And I just, I'm happy to be the hater, dude. I don't respect these guys, even Bryson. I don't respect you, dude. You made a really bad decision here, and everyone told you it was a bad decision when you went to Liv. Like it was very clear that you took money and traded your character and respect for that money. So now when you're like, hey, I want to get back, like, what can I do? Like, these fines should be hefty fines, dude. They should be hefty fines that go into a player pool that's paid out to the guys who are on the tour right now, who were also on the tour at that time when that decision's made. The young guys getting in the game, Blades Brown, or those guys that are just showing up on the scene, they don't. This money's not for them. I'm talking about a pool of money coming from the Liv guys that goes to the dudes who were loyal to the tour at that time. That's what should take place.
Yeah, I don't think that happens. I think it's going to be a 1-year ban. And I think most guys will have to go back through the queue process, which is how it should be. Because my belief is that if you're on Liv Golf, you're not playing competitive golf.
No.
And you see it with some exceptions. We saw something from Tyrrell Hatton, but John Rahm has completely lost his edge. Bryson has been terrible recently. Dustin Johnson, like all these dudes. Why would John Rahm not wanting to pay his fines? Well, you're going to have to pay your fines now to play on the DP World Tour and get status, right? You're in real trouble here, and your careers are on the line. So I would like to see how that all is going to work, because you talk about a deal like the Big 12 getting a private money deal. Okay, well, how does Liv Golf go out and get a private money deal? Somehow I have trouble seeing that, because the PIF has essentially said, we're not funding it after this year. You pulled your main PIF representative from the tour. He's no longer involved. What's his name? Yashir Ramian, whatever his name is. No longer involved with Liv Golf. You're going to have to find big money to fund this thing that's absolutely losing gobs and gobs of money. Good luck. Liv Golf should be forced to go for their MDivs. We know a guy that can mentor them. He wears a Cal Poly shirt. Exactly right. Bobby Schmier. I may be out of line here, but to me, they're all traitors. No free pass. Screw them. A lot of people feel that way. PIF also pull their funding for Newcastle and sell. Sports washing is a money pit. Yes, it is. Whoa. What happened here? My camera went dark? Marcus,
yeah, because of the sun, dude. Becoming a daily occurrence now that spring's approaching. It's a very unfortunate... It's an unfortunate situation and happening, such as and stuff. Hey, welcome back.
Schmear.
Yeah.
Much
better.
Yeah, better. I truly don't know the answer to this. Why is what they did any different than anybody going from a Premier League team to La Liga? Oh, it's completely different. Because Liv Golf came out and said their whole goal was to destabilize and put the PGA Tour out of business. Like Phil Mickelson will never play on the PGA Tour again. After the things he said, and after the way he attacked everybody on the PGA Tour, how does Phil Mickelson ever find a route back to the PGA Tour? How do you ever show up and play when you're Phil Mickelson? And a lot of people think Phil only took the money because he had gambling debts.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain that? And come on. That's crazy. Liv is retaliating on Monty. Watch out. It is a blood money operation. Hey, man. I don't mind telling you, we actually had conversations with Liv Golf about creating content, and we didn't do it. So at one point, they were fully funding tons of content, pregame, post-tournament shows, wrap-up shows, like all this stuff. And they got zero return on any of that.
Yeah, because here's the problem, dude. Ultimately, man, morals and ethics matter. Morals and ethics matter. You don't just get to come in and be that bullish about it, and then you want to unwind that watch, dude. And that's my problem. Is You know what it really is too, and I always have an issue with this when we have these different topics on the show. If you listened, you know this about me. But like, I don't ever understand why a guy like Phil Mickelson, just as an example, you've had this illustrious career on the tour, absolute legend. Yeah, maybe the last 5 to 7 years weren't your best, but that's kind of how golf works, right? Like you have your peak and then you ride that thing out till you're like 50, 55. And then if you want to keep playing, you go to the Champions Tour. You'll still play the majors on the PGA Tour, the Masters, things like that you have, because he's won the Masters, obviously, you have lifetime membership to that.
Sleep on a pillow the rest of your life that's just absolutely padded with $100 bills, and
like you're good, right? Like you're set. You
nothing
have money
to worry about.
And again, in Phil's case, okay, gambling degenerate, totally understand. But you're telling me that this guy is so desperate for money as a professional golfer that he had to take that kind of money, that Phil Mickelson couldn't just go out, because you understand making the cut at just a run-of-the-mill, I'm not talking majors or any of these huge events, just run-of-the-mill PGA Tour event. You understand that just making the cut, being like the 55th or like 60th on the board there to make the cut, you're making 50 bands a tournament, dude. Yeah. You're making 50, 60 G's just to make the cut. You're telling me that this guy is so leveraged that wasn't covering him? Come on, dude. It wasn't about that.
And you explained away chopping people's heads off.
Yeah, it wasn't about it. The narrative around Phil, I always disagreed with. Could he use the money? Sure, we could all use the money. Sure, but at what cost? Because I'm telling you right now, anybody who's a regular, not the top end guys, not Scotty, not Rory, not the guys who are in contention constantly, just your middle of the road.
Chris Gotterup.
Chris Gotterup, dude. Chris Gotterup. And just at
this point, Jordan Spieth,
Jake Knapp. Look at Jake Knapp, dude. Jake Knapp, PXG star, Jake Knapp.
Yes.
Dude, Jake Knapp is rolling in it, dude. Hasn't won. Bro is, I believe, one of the top 5 guys on the tour right now for top 10 finishes this year. You understand, if you finish top 10 in PGA Tour, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars a tournament you're making. Dude, money's not a problem for these guys, man. The issue is their character and their decision to compromise their morals and ethics to chase a dollar. That's why you're not welcome back on the tour. That's why you need to go through Q school. That's why you need to re-earn everyone's respect, because short of that, you haven't earned anyone's respect. And I might add, Patrick Reed was competitive at the Masters. Didn't win, but was competitive until about 11 on Sunday.
Well, I also think you have to remember the PGA Tour and guys like Tiger Woods and Rory, and they're not going to forget the lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit that, who was it? Bryson, Phil Mickelson, and I can never remember the other guy's name. Taylor Gooch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Filed against the PGA Tour. Those 3 guys, and I love Bryson. I watch his YouTube shit. I think it's great. He tried to end the PGA Tour.
When you watch
you
his
can't
YouTube
just
stuff,
open the door.
Yeah, does that go through your head when you watch his YouTube stuff?
Yes, every single time.
Yet you still watch it.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I love YouTube golf. I am a big fan of guys like Grant Horvat, Brian Bros, even though Wesley is banned from the tour right now because he partook in live events. My feeling is that when you look at those 3 guys, Phil, Bryson, and Taylor Gooch, they should have a much longer road back to the tour, if any at all. And Bryson is such a megawatt that you have to almost create a route for him to come back. But I am telling you now, when you sued this tour and tried to end the PGA Tour in its existence, there's a price to be paid for that. And a higher price than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt in my mind that these guys will find their way back. But guys like John Rahm continues to fight the DP World Tour. And he's not able to play currently in the 2027 Ryder Cup because he's not a member in good standing. He never withdrew his membership and paid his fines like everybody else did. Makes it tough, right? I mean, he was John Rahm was unapologetic and kind of a red ass about it at the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
So
he'll pay the fines eventually. He will.
He will. He will have no choice.
Eventually. Yeah,
he will have no choice.
And again, this is my point, bro. You're damn near a billionaire. Didn't they give Rahm like $900 million or whatever it was, or 700 or whatever the number was? Like, you're really.
Amount of,
I mean, what are these?
Money.
What are these fines? A couple mil, I think it is, or whatever.
He owes
like,
$3.7 million to
great,
the DP
dude.
World Tour.
That's a drop in the can for you, dude. Pay the damn fines. Like, get over it, man.
And I can look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's $3.5 million. I
mean, really, dude?
And if you look at his Liv Golf salary, I mean, he is. I mean, the guy, I think he's making, he's averaging like $15 million. And he got, I mean, it's like a $500 million deal.
Yeah, bro.
Like, and you're haggling over 300. That's wild to me. I mean, I think he's already been paid. I read yesterday, John Rahm's already been paid something like $96 million from Liv Golf. And you're arguing over $3 million in fines.
Like, John, do you realize your career is kind of in jeopardy here? Like, do you get that? Like, do you acknowledge that you're not, you know, there's just no way around the fact that he's not one of the best golfers in the world right now. Is the talent within him? Sure. But the course results are what we're talking about. So you haven't been that guy for quite some time.
And I don't know that he ever becomes that guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that he ever becomes that guy again, because once you lose your edge, man, it's very difficult to regain it in golf. Golf is such a mental game. And I just don't know. I mean, how many years has it been since those guys had world golf rankings? Because Liv was such a poorly built thing that it couldn't qualify.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about slap together.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the likely path back looks like. Was the girl paid to be an online promoter for Liv? I have no idea.
No idea, bro.
Big Daddy Magic, I'm going to hear, dude, for one day, can you just come in here and not be an asshole? Just for like one day. Just have a normal conversation for one day. Like it is, look, I understand I'm everybody's favorite target and you want to like take shots and stuff, but just for one day, can we not do like the hater thing? I'm so burned out on all you do is send me videos being like mean and being like, I get it. I get burned out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask David Duvall about losing it. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Right. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I really struggle with the concept with athletes that like I get the premise of, hey, more money, more problems. I understand that and I respect that. I do respect that. At the same time, though, I guess I just really struggle with the concept that again, it's the Tiger thing, right? Like you've got all this money. Your life is basically on autopilot, excluding what's in your control. Like that's the thing. Their lives are flipped. If you compare our lives, like the average American's life to these guys, our life is largely impacted by stuff that's out of our control. Things like, you know, stuff that happens in government, economic conditions, you know, stuff at the office, like whatever it is, like stuff that's out of our control largely affects our lives. But for these guys, it's flipped. They have so much money that none of that stuff affects them. The stuff that affects them is the pills they're taking or the poor decisions they're making with Liv. Or so it's like, dude, can you not just say, yeah, you know what? And I'm a big believer in this. Hey, I was able to find someone that I'm married to, and we have 2 great kids, and we have a house, and like my life is in a good place. I'm in good health. I'm able to golf and provide for my family. That's not good enough for these guys, and that is my biggest issue. Is set the Saudi stooge stuff aside. The Liv drama. at a core, I can look at John Rahm or any of these dudes and say, dude, you pissed away a really good setup. You were one of the best in the world. You had everything. You had it made, dude.
All your sponsorship money they've lost. How many of these guys?
Yeah, bro.
And a lot of them have added it back, but John Rahm's no longer with Mercedes, I don't believe. Right? Marcus, I don't want this to turn into kick Big Daddy Magic's ass.
He's earned it.
Marcus said, at what point do you just cut Big Daddy Magic off? It must annoy you that all he does is hate. He's still talking about a Scoot Henderson take from 4 years ago because it's all he's got. Yeah, well, look, Big Daddy Magic is an interesting cat. I don't dislike Big Daddy Magic. I get burned out on the bullshit. Like I say this, and Marcus mentioned angry Phil Venzer. Phil Venzer only says negative, mean stuff on Twitter, but I don't see it because I don't get in my Twitter mentions.
Yeah.
The problem for guys like Big Daddy Magic are they get in the comment section and all he wants to do is he can't have a normal discussion. And I think there's probably a screw loose here or there, but he's not able to have a discussion about Liv Golf. He only wants to talk about Victor Wembanyama or AJ Debanza. You know, can we talk about AJ Debanza real quick? Bro.
Now, AJ, I thought your mom was in the control of the decisions being made about your future, brother.
This logo is hot garbage. This is AJ Debanza's logo with Nike. And it's supposedly A's and J's with a star shield. I'm going to say it's time to have ChatGPT.
Oh, we're going to pack 12 this thing? Sure, let's run it back, dude. All right, okay, we're on the clock here. Do you have ChatGPT pulled up yet?
Yes, I can. It's always available to me. I always have it.
Okay, so we're on the clock.
Yes, I said make a new logo for AJ Debanza and Nike.
Okay, great. Let's see what it spits out, dude.
I am not going to give it a reference point because this logo that you're looking at, I think is horrendous.
Ass.
This might be the worst. And this is part of Nike's problem.
Yeah. Do you remember the Bron and KD logos? The crown and then the KD logo. Those made sense. Hey, Kevin Durant, KD, it's
Kobe
clear.
Kobe
Mamba.
Air Jordan.
But we've just gone on a run here where like Ja Morant's logo, now AJ Debanza's logo, like these guys, their logos are just not I'm a big believer, dude. Like, let's be really clear. Logos are a very simple proposition. It needs to look cool and be clean, but I need to be able to look at it in less than 5 seconds and know what the logo is for. That's the whole essence of a logo. I don't know what the hell, like this legitimately, I had to get on the internet yesterday and understand how is this AJ Debanza? You look at this logo, how's this AJ Debanza? Like this might as well be a wannabe Mercedes logo or like Chrysler or like any star logo that you can think of over the last decade. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird that you can't understand it.
It's working and it's going through an edit. Frankly, let me post the first one. Because I don't love this first one that ChatGPT put out.
Okay.
Right. I don't love this first one. Let's see. And as usual, we have too many pictures in here.
Classic.
Let's see. Downloads. Here it is. All right. This is the one you're looking at on the screen is the first logo.
Mm-hmm.
This is the actual official AJ Debanza Nike logo. This is the one that. And again, is that better?
No, but at least I know what they're trying to do.
Oh, now this is what I'm talking about. This one
there's
is better.
a ChatGPT.
Okay, this one is better. Tell me the brand story. Tell me the brand story behind this logo. Okay. All right, let me update this because this one got notably more creative. Because this one with the first one that it spit out.
It's okay.
Look at this one. This one now. Okay, so here's the one that Nike and AJ Debanza went with.
Yeah.
I like this much better. It's got the basketball. It's got the crown in it.
Mm-hmm.
it's still pretty average ass. But what do I like about it? I like that it's got the swoosh integrated into the letters. I like it.
Maybe tell ChatGPT to edit the logo so that it can be branded on a Nike basketball shoe and see what it does. Because this right here you wouldn't be able to put this on a basketball shoe. This is a beautiful logo. I agree. This would be great for anything commercial and TV.
A t-shirt. Look at this on a
t-shirt would be phenomenal. Like any type of material branding would be awesome. But on a shoe, I just don't know that this gets it done just because it's got a lot of detail in it, right? So I think because that to me is what Nike's been trying to do lately. If you really think about it, Nike, in my opinion, has been making logos that are easy to put on shoes. Like that are just straightforward, easy to put on shoes. But the problem with that is that, again, just because it's easy to put it on a shoe doesn't mean that I recognize it as AJ Debance, the way I recognize the Jordan logo as Michael Jordan. Why is think of it this way. Why is the Jordan logo the Jumpman? Why? Well, because it's Air Jordan, right? The whole mystique of the Jordan brand is that these shoes will help you perform. That that's always been the thing. I don't have that connection to AJ Debance's logo. I don't know it's the Zion Williamson logo. Don't understand the Zion Williamson logo, dude. Like
I don't even know what it is.
That's my point, though. It's been such a rough ride with Zion that you don't even know what the hell his logo says or even looks like. That's my point, dude. Like, come on.
Let's see. Oh, it did better. It did see, and it reads my minds. This is the latest incarnation. I actually like this a lot. I like this a lot. Simple, Nike, crown, because
AJ.
Again, this goes on a shoe. Obviously the crown represents earned greatness, not given hype. AJ isn't next up. He's building a legacy that demands respect now. I like it. Let's see. The obvious Nike integration, crowned by work, defined by dominance, built for legacy.
And the other thing that you have here too with this logo is you have some imagery of the letter D with the gold portion here a little bit. You can kind of see how that starts to build the letter D on the right side of the logo. So, I mean, I think that this is perfect. I mean, it works perfectly fine, dude.
Crowned by work.
Yeah, dude.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Crowned by work. And it gives you, man, this is incredible. It tells you step by step how to launch this logo.
Yes.
I'm telling you, ChatGPT and AI are incredible. This is the winner right there.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. What do you guys think? LeBron-ish. Could definitely be LeBron-ish. The dunk contest that turned it all into Air Jordan taking off from the line.
Yes.
I don't think that's where the Air Jordan logo came from. I could be wrong. Make the swoop the J in AJ.
Oh, the swoosh. Make the Nike swoosh the J in AJ. I see what you mean.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that would make a killer t-shirt if they wanted to make one. Yes. Absolutely right. Looks like the Cowboys logo coming apart at the seams.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, how is that AJ Debance's logo, dude? How is that
This
AJ
one?
Debance? Yeah, like, how is that your logo, dude? That is
Terrible.
ass.
It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It kind of looks like, you know what it reminds me of?
The Omni logo? Yes, it does.
You know what this looks like too to me? This looks like the black check mark shape is straight off of a Degree deodorant bottle. That's what it looks like, dude.
That. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, it is a Nike Converse mashup. Yes. So how about we give you 5 check marks arranged like a star? All the kids will want it, right? I don't think the problem is I don't think they will. That's
Here's the deal.
The problem is LeBron is known as the king. Yes. True. That's BDM's next tattoo. Big Daddy Magic is a huge AJ DeBanza fan. I like this one, but I would agree again, it's very LeBronish. This one sucks. This one's a little better. I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great t-shirt. No question about it.
No question about it, dude. No question about it. Even a little bit.
It just, I'll never understand it. I'll never understand Nike's massive decline because it just didn't have to be that way. You tried to go direct to consumer during the pandemic. That sort of worked, and then it fell apart. And I just don't know how, if you're Nike, you recover. I'm a huge Nike guy, as you guys know. Obviously, I have hundreds of pairs of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in on their golf stuff. Now I'm not. I'm less fatter, so I can.
I'm less fatter,
so I can now fit into their golf clothes, and I love them.
Right.
I have their polos, like I have a vest. I have the whole thing.
Yeah, Nike golf apparel is outstanding.
I have a couple. Their quarter zips are amazing. They're very minimalist. Like the logo for Nike is now on the wrist or on the top of the back. I actually have a really nice golf sweater that I really enjoy. But you've lost so much market share. And I think a lot of it is that the athletes that they endorse or who endorse them are not compelling. They need Steph. Losing Cooper Flagg to New Balance, huge loss.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson being a complete fat ass and a bust, huge loss.
Zion getting Mariah milled.
Who is Victor Wembanyama with? Whose shoe is he wearing?
Nike?
No.
I think is he not? I thought he was. Yeah, the alien.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he's a Nike guy. See, but that's the problem. This is my point. I thought he was Nike. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, he is. He wears the GT cut. Yeah. Oh, that's brutal. Multi-year deal with the Nike brand before 2023. Oh, that's right. And they made that terrible. Yes. God, their logos have sucked balls lately.
That's what I'm saying. They're just not good, dude.
Yeah, he's got that terrible alien.
This was
logo.
the BMW thing from several years ago now, like maybe 5 to 8 years ago, where BMW's design team had changed and all their designs that had come out were just ass, and then they kind of went back to the olden days and the G80 was born. Like that's what I feel like Nike's going through. Like you're trying to get too cute with your designs and in these logos instead of just going the old school, real heavy, like clean, simple design that's recognizable. And it's just killing you, man. And I agree in terms of consumer spending, the loss of Foot Locker and House of Hoops being stocked through the ass is why you're struggling. That like those two need to be beefed back up.
Jake, do you have the lawnmower video that you can upload?
Yeah, I think I do.
You got to put that back in the tray. Let's talk about this dude who drove a lawnmower into a Target. Florida man. I don't understand this prank stuff at commercial department stores. So this has been a trend for a minute where people, and it's young men, will walk into a store and do a prank. So this guy walked into, I believe it was a Lowe's or a grocery store. He walked into a grocery store, I believe a Publix, with a leaf blower, and was walking around the store using it. And they called the cops. They threatened to arrest him. He was trespassed. He can never go into a Publix store again. Never. In his entire life, can't go into a Publix store. Now, he probably will be able to, because who's going to really be paying attention? But then that wasn't enough for him. Jerkface wanted to get on a riding lawnmower and drive that lawnmower through Target because this will get him viral. And if Jake ever finds the clip,
just waiting for the internet, bro.
If Jake ever finds the clip,
come on, StreamYards, you can do it. Come on.
It's pretty remarkable.
There it is.
That he thought this was funny.
It was not something you see every day.
In seconds, a normal shopping trip in Ocala on Saturday turns into chaos. The last thing you expect to see inside a Target is a lawnmower coming through the door, and it was all captured on video.
He actually drove straight into the door first and shattered it. It was quite interesting.
Ocala police say 18-year-old Janik Soratic was the one driving the lawnmower and wearing overalls and a farmer's hat. He was arrested along with 18-year-old Luke Sharsky for this social media stunt. Vanessa Scarlett didn't know either of the teens, but decided to start recording.
So you never know what's going to happen.
You can still see the damage, the wood boards covering the door, as well as the broken glass. This is where officers say that lawnmower went through that Target entrance. And we spoke with shoppers, and they are still shocked that this happened. Police say the chaos didn't start at the Target. The night before, Soratic allegedly used a leaf blower inside a Culver's on Southwest College Road. He was charged with criminal mischief, and both teens were arrested for disorderly conduct.
Why is this funny? Is this Monty, the old man, get off my lawn guy? Why is this funny?
The stupidity of it is what's funny. Nobody thinks it's funny to be driving a lawnmower into Target, especially a riding lawnmower. But the idea that somebody woke up one day and said, yeah, let me create some content. Let me go full engagement farming industry on this and drive a riding lawnmower into a Target just to get clicks is incredible. I mean, how dumb are you? Like, what did you think was going to happen, bro? Like, did you think this would end well for you, man?
Yeah, I just don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's Are we so thirsty as Florida men and teenagers that we want to have felonies on our record?
Yeah,
because we wanted to be famous. I just don't think it's funny. I feel like stick in the mud old man. I just don't think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
In any way, shape, or form. I don't think it's entertainment. I don't think it's I think it's complete garbage. And I think I really hope that they wreck these dudes financially. They clearly should have to pay for all of the damage they did to there was also damage to the tile floor. There was damage, obviously, to 2 doors, and not just the glass, but the sliding doors were bent to a point where they don't work. So you're going to wind up replacing this entire door system. That's not going to be anything less than probably $25,000. And I hope they have to pay every penny of it. And this is where I'm like, okay, did your parents not pet you enough? Did your owners
or maybe they petted you too much?
Did your owners feed you raw food and that's why you had brain damage, son?
You fucking donkey.
Like, I want to understand this. What are we doing? Is this because you can't afford college? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I want to. I don't.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Right. Like I would want the kid in jail.
Yeah.
And if my kid did that, Jake, had you ever done that, I'd have left you in jail. You'd have stayed in jail overnight. I would not have gotten you out. I wouldn't have. The dude needs to touch grass, not cut grass. Well, there is that. These young kids trying to go viral like Jackass or Mr. Beast level popularity.
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't disagree with that. The problem is that like Jackass is all private sets and like not available to the public, right? Those are all, I mean, the stuff they do in public, the stuff that they do in public is not that level. Like it's not, nobody's getting injured with their public stuff. Like it's just, it's a guy dressed as a female priest running down a sidewalk yelling insane things. Like nobody's charging you for that.
Jeremiah says we actually need more of that and laugh as a nation. I agree, we need to laugh more. We don't need to be driving lawnmowers into Target.
No. And breaking the glass security door is part of that process.
We don't need to do that. There was this one punk who would do stuff to piss off other guys. And when the guy came up to him, the punk would have a huge, okay.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So the video I think you're referring to was at like another Target type store. And the guy would walk up behind other men. He was like if I'm remembering this right, he was like a flamboyantly gay 20-something. And he would walk up behind guys and do the whole daddy thing in their ear.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they turned around to beat wholesale ass, he would have a bodyguard there.
I'm not your daddy.
Right? Like, I think that's the video Mike's talking about.
Daddy?
I just don't think that's funny.
Well,
like it feels, I don't know, man. This is where maybe I'm just old dude who I don't think it's funny.
I don't think you're old dude on this one. I don't think you're being get off my lawn guy. I think that there's two sides to it. There's the accountability side. They should have to pay for every penny of damage they did. They should be held accountable criminally. And that's just that. Like you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Facts.
Yeah, jackass would go into stores, correct?
Yeah. Secondarily, though, like I think that there's part of it where there's all kinds of in public content that is funny. They just did it incorrectly. Do you
guys like the people who dress up as statues or bushes and then try to scare people?
Yeah, that's funny content, dude. Like as long as you don't touch somebody or assault somebody.
So much. I hate that so much.
Well,
I know. I'm not fun guy. I'm not fun guy.
You're not fun guy.
I'm the fat ass who is not fun. Totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not sure how people think that's funny. Those lawnmowers shoot stuff out of the side super hard. Sometimes one rock could have even shot and hit a, yeah. It's dangerous. It's not, I don't think it's funny. But that's just me. I love the guy walking through the park and farting with attitude. Cracks me up. That's a little different. I agree that there's some humor in farting's funny. You know, the difference with Jackass, the stores knew they were coming. Maybe. I don't know.
Can't confirm or deny that, dude.
Yeah. Bobby Schmier says, come on, Monty. The Bush guys are hilarious.
The Bush guys.
Yeah. Listen.
Okay. Do you find humor in guys hiding in the bushes and blowing a loud ass horn in someone's backswing on a muni?
Nope. It's how people get shot, dude. I don't. I'm not. I know. I don't like fun. I am unfun.
How people get shot.
I am unfun. Freedom has you make choices, my guys. Freedom has consequences.
Yeah.
You know.
So if someone drives a lawnmower into Target, just call the advocates, That's what it is.
If somebody driving a lawnmower through Target runs your foot over, call the advocates. Right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
I freely admit I'm stuck in the mud, not fun old man now. That's the life I live, and I don't try to hide from it.
Not fun guy.
Yeah, I don't. I just, stuff like this annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, you're not an FNG, you're an NFG.
Like the buddy that goes around the parking lot issuing tickets to people who don't put carts back in cart corrals.
That's funny as hell to me, dude. That's epic trolling.
That's funny.
That's funny.
I think that's funny. I do. I think that's funny. Anyway, the Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365. That's where you get clear, risk-free advice. Won't cost you a penny because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So go get it. You got hurt at work, get in a car accident, you get hit while you're in an Uber. Advocates are ready to help, my friends. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.